when the boy began to grow up, he also, felt a day he was passing by the stream, and then he saw in the reflection of himself by the stream, and he felt like it was so beautiful. So he made it an habit to always lay beside the stream and was always admiring himself. And that was his very undoing, because eventually he drowned in that same stream from admiring himself. So from this quick story, you understand that a narcissist is someone who just loves themselves, and they will do anything, they will trample on anyone, manipulate anyone just to satisfy their own needs.
Fantastic. And Auntie Funke, do you have anything to add to this?
Well, she said it all. That's just the summary of who a narcissist is. That's just the summary. She got it. 100%.
She got it. Okay. Yes. So are there all the forms of narcissism? Because I want to focus my attention on the covert narcissist. But, during our brainstorming session yesterday, you asked me why did I want to talk about the covert narcissist? And just for the education of people who are watching, I want to know, are there other types of narcissists?
Thank
yes.
you.
And it's for, So, Sister Adeola, you can answer that, and then Dr. Auntie Funke then can answer if she wants to add.
Now, the truth is, I'm going to, funny enough, somebody just sent me a text message. I'm going to read it out to you. Then we diagnose the person. We're talking about church girls a lot. Yeah. Good afternoon, ma. God bless you for always helping us to say things that we can't say about our lifestyle. I'm engaged to a young minister. He's a papa in our fellowship. Adeola, we are going to analyze and break this down. This is somebody's story. So she is asking covert narcissist or overt and all of that. We're going to just listen to this and we get it out. I'm engaged to a young minister. He's a papa of our fellowship. Everyone respects him so much, and by extension, they now respect me too. Ever since we made our relationship public, it's been a little over 1 year now, and we're already looking at January next year for our marriage. His rules are too many. I must not practice as a nurse after we marry. I just finished nursing school this year. My parents invested so much in my education. He said on our wedding night, if he did not see blood, it will cost me. I'm a virgin. I've never had a boyfriend, talk less of sex. He's my first, and he said that I must call him Lord, both at home and in the public. Number 7, he said I must raise our children well because he doesn't want the children of Eli. Number 8, too many that I can't even say. I'm very afraid of him, but I pretend all is well. I love him because he treats me well, except all the things I said earlier and some other things. He had helped me to study the word of God, but I am very afraid. Any small offense like this, I'll beg him for weeks, and he won't accept until he gives me 3 days fasting to seek the face of God for forgiveness. Please, what should I do? Leaving him is not an option because he said we are ordained to marry from above. And if I leave him, I will not marry any man again. He is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. Sister Adeola, over to you.
Yay! Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
This is what I listen to and I hear every day. True story, true people, reality.
Okay, so let's quickly talk about the type of narcissists that we have, and then we'll come back to that word. So basically, we have 4 types of narcissists, and then they're divided into. We have the overt kind of narcissist, while we have the covert kind of narcissist. So the first type of narcissist, overt. Yes. So the first type of narcissist is the grandiose narcissist, who is also the overt narcissist. So those ones are usually the people those are the ideas that we have. Now, when we talk about narcissism, we just feel like anybody that is arrogant, and anyone who walks into the room, those ones, they are easy to spot. Those are the overt kind of narcissists. Of course, they lack empathy and they're usually consumed with power. The second one is the covert narcissist, which is what we're going to be deliberating on. Those ones, they are very, very hard to spot. So they usually try to come off as their shy, like they are humble, and they usually mask their narcissism with religion. So usually they are always very insecure. So they come with, they make it seem like you have to come and save them. And of course, when you meet them, you feel like, oh, this guy is just not, he's misunderstood.
He needs help.
Is misunderstood. However, when you move closer to them, you find out that they are also very arrogant, but they don't display their arrogance in the public like the grandiose kind of narcissist. They always do it to the person like closest to them. Then the third kind of narcissist is the communal narcissist. These ones also, they are very, very difficult to spot. And they are similar to the covert narcissist because, they value admiration. They like to be admired. And also they like to be, they mask their narcissism with religion as well. Then the fourth kind of narcissists are the malignant narcissists. These ones, we don't even pray that anyone should have an encounter with them because they are the most dangerous kind of narcissists. And usually they're usually the sociopaths and the serial killers and all of that. They have like a form of sadism to their narcissism. Yeah, they're sadists. They're usually sadists. So back to the person that is asking the question of, when we talk about covert narcissism in the church, they max it with what we call they use this what's it called? So the Christian covert narcissists are difficult to spot. They use this holy humility. So look at this person already giving rules and regulations.
He has started giving rules and regulations. Yes, you must be a virgin. My children must be raised well.
Is he trying to
manipulation, right? Oh, the network.
Yeah, the network.
Are they supposed to be? Are they not supposed to be? You need to do that. You said you have not married someone. You already saying is something that.
Hey.
Oh, the network. Okay.
Okay, and so maybe you would have to
call it parents. They don't call it woman in a sorry. There's any word like that. You have to do it in the church, and they max it with stability, encourages.
Wow.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, but I think your network has some glitches. Is your network? Your network is
breaking.
Epileptic, but we're hearing you now. Oh, it's freezing. Okay.
And so maybe you should take over.
I'll take over from there.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the analysis of that papa, quote and unquote, you will see that everything is saying is all about me, I, and myself. One of the things that is predominant about a narcissist is everything must evolve around them. Anything, everything, they must be at the center point of everything. If they are not there, they are not going to take it easy with the people that are relating with them. So the truth is, all the laws and the rules and the regulations, it's all about himself. He must meet her as a virgin. He must make sure that the kids are raised properly. He must not work. Now, the painful part of it, which is a strong red flag, is the hoovering, the love.
That's the love bombing.
Love bombing. He has so much hoovered her with love and attention and spirituality because he knew that was what she wanted. She knew that what is important to her is spirituality. So that's why we're talking to church girls, that they should not be carried away with the manipulation of quoting scriptures and speaking in tongues and all of that, because I deliberately brought this question to this space for people to understand that it is not just speaking in tongues and being spiritual. By their fruit you will know them. This person had actually webbed her. And one of the things a narcissist does is they isolate you. A narcissist has already isolated her, saying that she should not go to school and read, and probably read the course she offered in school. And the parents had invested in her. Now, the truth is, by the time you get married and you're not working, and you are telling your parents that it's my husband that said I should not work, that is super cut off and isolation. They will get angry and dump you and tell you wedlock is padlock. You are married to your husband, stay with your husband. We don't have a hand in you again. Now, the girl will be so isolated that she will not have access to the people that she loved and the people that loved her. And before you know it, she will now be permanently caged in that web of a narcissist. So they isolate you. Isolation is extremely important to a narcissist because they don't want somebody else to give you an idea. They don't want any thoughts from another person. They believe if you have a friend, all your friends, they cut you off from your friends, and they keep gaslighting you. They tell you things that makes you to doubt the reality of what you're saying. Now, the person that is praying with you, sharing scriptures with you, and telling you that if you have offended God, you are not fasting 3 days and 3 nights. It is when you offend him and you have to go to God and repent. You could see that this girl is already in the cage of a narcissist. And the painful part of it is she knew something was wrong. Now, common sense is not common. This girl shouldn't even ask anybody any question before she gets out of that relationship. But the guy has already manipulated her, put fear in her. Now use the word of God and God himself that we are destined to marry each other. If you don't marry me, you are not going to get married again. You could see a trap. Fear is already inflicted in her soul. She's already been isolated and she's already been gaslighted. So doubting the reality of her pain. You know, when you are dealing with a narcissist, even if you see this guy is green, a narcissist will tell you is white, and before you know it, you are confused. Okay, it's white, so that peace will reign. I think Sister Adeola is back. Please unmute yourself. Sister Adeola, unmute yourself. You've muted yourself. Can you unmute yourself so that you can say something?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I have 2, 3 networks on, but I think
it's fine now. You are good to go now. You are very good now.
Yeah. It's okay. It's normal. It's fine. You see this matter. We must reach the end of it.
We are dealing with
no problem. Okay. Yeah.
So can you tell me where I stopped or what was the last thing that I said, you know?
So and Olufunke talked about who a narcissist is, and she's given us the covert narcissist, the spiritual one. Yeah, and I think
you had all 4 types of narcissists,
yes,
right?
We had that. Yeah. Yes, we had that.
Good. So I was going to talk about the Christian narcissists. You know, these ones, they are very, very hard to spot. And you know, because Christianity is a religion of humility. We don't want to let's call it religion of humility. We have to stay humble. And you know, basically there are some things that we see in the Bible, especially when you read the Old Testament, you look at it like, I mean, was this supposed to happen? But because we know it is, you know, what we are as our lifestyle, we don't question those things. So these people would also use that to manipulate you to do their dirty bits. These are the same set of people that in church, Mama said something about isolation. They will isolate you. They will tell you don't be friends with this person. They will tell you don't talk to this person. They will tell you this person said something about you. Meanwhile, they are nice to everybody. Except the ones they're nice to everybody, and then they are the ones that everybody comes to, and then they make it seem, forgetting the fact that they isolated you already, and then they'll make it seem like, oh, I'm just a lovable person. Meanwhile, they're manipulating you to do their dirty deed. You know, so Christian narcissism.
Let me be a little bit practical with this manipulating you to do the dirty bit. Now, they'll make you miserable at home. They have emotionally traumatized you. You are a sad woman. And because we are not wired to be in pain, you will begin to exhibit that misbehavior, that attitude to the public, to the works, to the fellowship, to the church and everything. So they are making you miserable at home, and they're making you look bad outside. Oh, that girl, she's not nice. Oh, this brother's wife, she's very, you know, sensitive. She's emotional. She's rude. She's nasty. But it's this person that is making you miserable, that is allowing you to act in that light. That's why I wanted to clear that. So people will understand that making you to do their dirty bit by looking good outside to other people, and you are exhibiting the pain. You are bringing out the venom of the pain that is inflicted into you, and you are now the person that is wrong. Yes, go ahead.
So I think before we also dissect all of that, because what you just talked about is called reactive abuse. So when they're abusing you,
yeah,
and then when you start to react, they would now start to dwell on your reaction rather than the triggers that made you to react. I think we'll still come back. We'll touch all of that. So basically, the covert narcissists are those, especially in the church, they're those who act like they're martyrs. They act like, you know, they're often misunderstood, like people don't understand them. And then when you're not, and then they play the victim. Covert narcissists love to play the victim. They always love to play the victim. And because they are what we call the green snakes under the green grass, you cannot spot them. On the outside, they are they're calm, they're nice. You know, in fact, they're the ones that will tell you themselves that, look, we are nice people. And I think I've learned to run from people who would, you meet within a short period and they're introducing themselves as we are nice. Why not allow me figure that out, right?
Stand your niceness.
Yeah, let me figure it out. So why are you telling me? You know, so they would also use the servant-hearted servant-heartedness of Christians to manipulate the person they want, you know, that is going to be closest to them. So now there are three phases of a narcissistic abuse, and we are hoping that at this first stage, each girl is able to get the red flags and be able to identify it and not even go through the other phases of abuse. So the first phase is the idealization phase. This is the love bombing phase, like you said. At this phase, literally, a narcissist will meet you in the morning, and by night, you are the love of their life. They're introducing you to their covert family.
You are going to get married the next day. Yeah.
You are getting married next week.
You don't want to think. You are not thinking. You are just.
You are not going anywhere. I feel like your water has been missing in my life for a very long time.
Oh God, you are the only sugar in my tea.
That is like a major red flag. Love grows.
They will not let you. You'll be shocked when you come home to tell your parents will be shocked when you come home and say, "I'm getting married next month." It's like, where did you meet this guy? You are just. It's not funny. You don't have money. They will say, "Don't worry, I'll pay the bills. I'll foot the bills." And your parents are saying, "I can't afford it now. Is he married? That is next." You are saying, "I'm going. This man loves me," and all of that. Then, of course, one of the red flags. Please remind me: premarital sex. We'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
Yes. So, they would literally fall in love with you, and then they expect you to. Meanwhile, before they came to ask you out, they've been mirroring you.
Yeah.
What does it mean to mirror?
They know how.
Some people may not understand the meaning of mirror.
In fact, mirroring means. Okay, so mirroring means basically, acting like you.
Yes,
they would have talked to you. So by the time they meet you, you will feel like you have met yourself in another person. They've mirrored you. They have been able to craft, what the things you like, the things you love to do, the places you love to go. And probably, I don't know if there's a way they go into your childhood. They know you grew up a certain kind of way. And then they're telling you they also grew up a certain kind of way. Just like, wow, I just met myself.
You are like twins. You have a lot in common.
Yeah, you don't feel like, you feel like this is my twin brother that I've not met you. How come I'm just meeting you? So literally, you feel like you've met the right person. However, like Olufunke said, there are things that the first thing is anyone who is godly would not force you to get into premarital sex with them. There are a lot of red flags. This person, like she said, and the covert narcissists are usually very broke. The grandiose narcissists, we give it to them. They have money to spend around and to display their narcissism. But the covert ones, they are very, very lazy. They are the ones that will not finish their basic education. But still, they will tell you they are geniuses.
Yes.
They will tell you
they will flaunt the richest in their family to mask their failure. My brother is a doctor. My auntie is an engineer. My uncle is a pharmacist. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So usually, this kind of people also, they guilt trip you with the scripture. They have a way of twisting verses. They will tell you what the Bible did not say. They will, of course, they'll quote the Bible and then the interpretation, you'll be like, hey, is this the same Bible that I'm reading? You know, they will tell you a different thing. And they will also use the Bible to get you to sleep with them, to get you to do things that you know are against your faith. I mean, usually they are people in positions of authority. And I feel so sorry. I think one of the reasons why I mean, we need to encourage our young girls to also know who they are in Christ. Because the truth is, if you know who you are in Christ, it's going to be difficult for someone to get you to do things that you know are not right. It's going to be difficult for someone.
I want to say something. I just want to say something. So I have the link to this Zoom meeting. Somebody asked for it. I didn't. So it's there. So if you think that this conversation is hot and you need your nieces, your nephews, your friends, your grandchildren to listen to this conversation, please send them the link. Yeah. Okay. Continue.
Thank you. Then another thing is, these people are also experts at playing the victim. My God, they never take accountability for their actions. See, literally, a covert narcissist, I'll tell you that Christ has to come for a covert narcissist to tell you that, yes, I was wrong. They accept that.
They are never wrong. They can never say so.
They are never wrong. They are never wrong. They will never take accountability. And they are always the victim. They are always the victims in the issues and the problems that they have created. They will create problems. And then when you start to react, when they triggered you and you start to react, they will keep quiet and make it seem like, oh, can you see now she's just the troublesome one? I'm just a quiet person. And they have people outside that they're already going to tell of your reactive abuse. These same people are the ones that will tell you that when something happens between both of you, you're supposed to keep it a secret. Don't tell outsiders. You shouldn't bring third party in.
But you don't even want third party in the marriage.
They're smearing you to like literally every Tom, Dick, and Harry, as in the most unimaginable set of people.
Okay. Now I want to ask this question. How can someone tell between genuine spiritual zeal, somebody who is genuinely a spiritual person, from the narcissist, the manipulative narcissist?
Now, let me start by, please explain the foundation of what we're talking about in a way. Any child, anyone that is raised from a dysfunctional home would get attracted to a man or a woman that is dysfunctional. I can tell you from Genesis to Revelation, Abraham was dysfunctional because he came from an idolatry family. Before he knew it, he had to leave because he's like a believer in the content of the New Testament, left with his wife and his cousin. They came in and they started working with God. But the first point of call, when you deal with idolatry, adultery is close to idolatry, meaning that because he came from a dysfunctional home, somehow it became dysfunctional via sexual struggle. Now, Abraham did not commit adultery. He committed adultery, pardon me. Now, any child, Isaac did not commit adultery, but Jacob, Esau and Jacob slided into polygamy just like that. What I'm saying this is, anyone that is from a dysfunctional home, the possibility of being attracted to a narcissist is very strong. And that's why I tell people, that's why the church had to understand that when you get people born again, don't dump them in the choir, don't make them intercessors, don't give them position, ask them, tell me about yourself. And the truth is, if you look at the scriptures very well, Jesus said, when an unclean spirit goes out of a man, it will walk through dry places seeking. I said, let me come back. When he comes back and there is no accountability, what you do when you meet with Christ is for you to be accountable and tell the person that is following you up everything that you've been through in life. If you keep it quiet and the devil comes in to check, it's going to make you lose your focus, and before you know it, you get married to a wrong person. Now, look at 1 Thessalonians 5:23. It said, I pray that your spirit, soul, and body be preserved, blameless unto the coming of the Lord. Meaning that we are tripartite being. Now listen, that's why you can see a born-again Christian that is a narcissist. That's where I'm going. Now, for the fact that they have narcissistic personality disorder, they are sociopath, they're psychopath, they're narcissists, they're addicts. It's a problem. It's a foundational problem. It's not that they just came up and they are not born again. They are born again. Their spirit is born again. Their soul is not born again. Their soul is a seat of trauma, pain, rejection, being abandoned, being isolated, sits in their soul. Then the seat of I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a banker, I'm an engineer, sits in the soul. Now, that's why I passionately talk about recovery and therapy, because if one does not address the fact that, now, I can tell you few narcissists that have worked on themselves, that they knew they were narcissists, even in the kingdom. I have seen, there's a woman that the whole world is celebrating. Joyce Meyer acknowledged that she was narcissistic. But because she sat with the scriptures and she was not, now she might be a covert narcissist. I mean, we have them in ranges. So we cannot outrightly say that people that are spiritual, that are struggling with their personality disorder, are not believers. Now, the truth is, 95% of a narcissist, what changes a man is insight. Until the prodigal son came and said, wow, I'm going home, I'm wrong. Nothing changes. So a narcissist is deep in denial. They don't believe anything is wrong with them. That's why they gaslight you. That's why they do smear campaign. That's why they play victim, because they don't have insight. What changes a man is, what? I'm wrong. This is not right. But a narcissist does not have insight. So they don't even, their eyes are blind to whatever they are doing. But that does not mean that they are not born again. So when we are talking about this personality disorder, we are talking about somebody that is mentally ill. You can be born and be a dwarf. You can be born and be kwashiorkor and maltreated. People are born, for the fact that you are born again does not make you completely total. You have to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. David said, "It makes me to light and it restores my soul." So that is where we're talking about healing and restoration. So your spirit man is born again, but your soul is what made a narcissist out of you. And let me quickly say this before I, allow Sister Adeola, listen and listen carefully. People are breeding more narcissists now than ever, especially single parents, especially people that have been in a toxic relationship or are still in a toxic relationship, or people that find themselves in a monogamous home that is abusive. Most of the time, women try to put their kids as their comfort when their marriages are not working. So they allow their children to get away with stuff. I have a nickname. If I can't trace it, I cannot face it. You must trace it, you must trace it, embrace it, erase it, and start replacing it. We must check the root, because if we are looking at these people as, oh, they are just intentionally being who they are. For instance, I am a sexual addiction therapist, and I've listened to addicts, people that are sexually addicted, and sometimes I get so emotional, almost crying for them because of how they grew up. Some of them were molested growing up. Some people here, it was their parents, their upbringing that turned them to who they are. Some are from a polygamous home that they have to survive and live, and they have to be a narcissist to survive in that toxic polygamous system. So it's kind of, we cannot quickly, I personally, because I've been able to reach out to a lot of people and see a lot of people and listen to a lot of people in this space, I've been able to realize that you can be born again and be struggling with your personality. But the truth is, I am being honest with you, there's no institution in this world that have not sat down to understand this personality disorder. But the truth is very clear. Even the psychologists and the psychologists and the clinical psychologists, they are always being careful in treating this personality disorder, because when you are treating them, especially when they have issues in their relationship, they drain the therapist. They stress you. But if you can put your feet down and counter their whatever with the scriptures, and you're not allowing them to get away with some of these vices that they, play, and the acts of wickedness that is being displayed with their personality, they can be helped. So the issue of spirituality and this personality disorder is very, very dicey. It's like, a very thin line. We cannot conclude that, like she said something, she said it's different from a believer that is just struggling, with flesh. That's why until they are properly diagnosed, it's against the ethics of psychotherapy or a psychologist to conclude that this person is a narcissist until he's diagnosed. It's like a doctor telling me that I have ulcer, I have cancer, or I have HIV without doing blood tests. I mean, that would not be fair on the patient. And that's why I tell people, though you have seen the signs and all of that, by the time you do personality assessment test, professionally speaking, you'll be able to discern if this person is actually a narcissist, a covert narcissist, or a full-blown narcissist, and all of that. I think I've said something there, just to clear.
Okay, so I want to ask this question. And as a parent, I feel that it's important that I know. Now, one of the obvious breeding grounds for a narcissist is a dysfunctional family. So that
that's 100%.
Now, but what are some of the things that we do as parents that can make a child become narcissistic? Now, this is not dysfunctional family. I mean, like loving family, dad, mom. What are the things that we can do
now
that can make our children to become narcissists?
Let me give you a practical example. Everyone has the Adamic nature, fallen nature. You don't teach a child to tell lies before the child begins to lie. So we all have the fallen nature. We all have the Adamic nature. And there's no child that is born in a home that is born again until you give your life to Christ. You are not born again. So even if your child father is a pope or a bishop, whatever, whoever your parents are, until you consent to give your life to Christ, you are not a child of God. So the truth is, the Adamic nature, the fallen nature is there in every child. Now, when your kids are growing, they exhibit some of this fallen nature: lies, anger, tantrums, reactions. Now we have 4 basic personality types. We have the thinker, the boss, the detailed, and the thorough. Everybody has 4 personality types, meaning the sanguine, the choleric, the melancholy, and the phlegmatic, and the choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and the melancholy. Now, all this temperament, there's no temperament that is bad. I tell people, work on your weaknesses and build your strength. Now, when you are dealing with a personality type, maybe the child is a choleric. Now, a choleric child wants to get away with whatever the child wants to get away with. They have a way of manipulating. They are not narcissists, but they are very manipulative. A choleric. Now, that's why we have to be careful and be professional when we are dealing with personality disorder. I mean, if you are a psychologist, you check the DSM, it gave us the criteria of who a narcissist is, which is in DSM. Now, the truth is, your personality as a choleric, or okay, let's use choleric, because choleric can be controlling. They want to have their way, they throw tantrums. Now, you have a child that is a choleric by nature. Now, the child would want to use every method to manipulate you, to let you do whatever they wanted you to do. Now, yesterday I have a client, I was having a session with her around 10 p.m. And the child, of course, the child is, she's a choleric to the bone. She knew she's the first child, the only child yet. And she knew her mother was on the phone and the mother was busy. So she said, I wanted to turn on the TV. And the mother said, just a toddler, she's not even up to 3. The mother said, you are not turning on the TV. She started screaming and yelling. I said, excuse me, girl, don't turn on the TV. Let her yell. Lock her up. So she locked her up. They are not in Nigeria. She locked her up. And the girl was screaming everywhere. I said, okay, bring her out and still tell her, you're not turning on that TV. You don't let a child get away with everything they wanted to get away with. You are breeding a monster from that in the life of that child. And before you know it, the child will take that to the world and believe I must get what I want. I must take charge. I must be who I am supposed to be. I'm number one. I'm this and that. Especially, because 14 invincible people are going into marriage relationship. When you are joining husband and wife, you are not joining 2 people. You are joining 14 people you don't see. Because you are joining 14 people you don't see, one of them is their personality type. One of them are the things they saw growing up with their parents. Most of our parents, now, I can say it because of experience and the things I've been privileged to go through in life, that some parents actually breed narcissistic personality disorder in their kids. Number one, probably the child is sickly or laid back. And that's why she said something, Adeola said something, that when you see them, even if they didn't go to school, they are the covert one, the laid back one, they'll be flaunting it and say, I have potential, I have this and that. Because when you are from a dysfunctional home, your self-esteem is crushed. One of the things that messes up the child that is raised from a dysfunctional home, whether monogamy, polygamy, and being raised by single parents. Please don't tell me because your dad and your mom are together, you are not dysfunctional. You can be raised in a monogamous home and still be dysfunctional. Why? Children are not the same. So you said something when dad and mom are together, fine. But the truth is that children are not the same. You cannot be relating with a thinker the way you relate with a talker. A thinker will internalize everything. And most parents, they don't understand the dynamics of their children's personality type. They don't know who their kids are. So they mass and mop up training of a child. Children are not the same. The womb is a passage that I've been privileged to go to labor ward several times. None of my kids are the same. They are not the same. They reason differently. If I want something done, I know who to tell, I know who not to tell, I know what to do, I know not what to do. And they all slept in my womb. So they are not the same. So parents should understand the personality of their kids before they now grew up to become a major, major challenge for them. In the sense that there is no perfect parent, definitely there is no perfect parent. But the truth is, parenting is hard work, and parenting is not for cowards. And sincerely, your kids are your fault. Every child stems from a home. Nobody dropped from heaven to the earth. So the narcissistic personality disorder we are talking about was breeded by somebody somewhere in the family system. And that's why we need to trace the roots of people that are struggling with their personality and know that, okay, this is a family system. I tell people your background should not put your back on the ground. I don't care what happens to you growing up. If you can take responsibility and accept that I was raised from a home that is not functional, then I can start working on myself. So parents should know that kids are not the same. You can't mop up training. You can't mop up punishment. And some kids, what gets to them? Some, they don't care. Whatever you say, they don't care. But some, what gets to them? So you have to study your child to know the personality of your child before you can start mopping up physical punishment or whatever happens in the family system. Thank you.
Fantastic. Now, this is a lot. And I just want to tell my listeners that you can be a part of this conversation by leaving your questions and your comments. And we would have an opportunity to ask our speakers. For you to do that, I want you to know that this program is live and it's recorded. So it's going to go on YouTube and it's going to be on Facebook. So if you're confident enough to ask the questions, fine. I just want to drop that in first. Now, you've said a lot. Some of my questions, you've already even answered them. But this is what I want us to do. Our avatar is a young person who's going to get married. Okay? A young person, a girl or a boy. No, before I ask that question, before I ask you this question, I want to ask you, are there more male or female narcissists? Which gender, so Sister Adeola, that's Sister Adeola. Sister Adeola, which gender are most narcissistic? Is it male or female?
So I would not want to say any gender is very narcissistic because I think we've seen it.
Okay.
However, I mentioned something yesterday. I talked about female narcissists, and I said female narcissists could be very deadly as well because they also, I said as women, when we get into our essence and we know what we have, we know how to just walk into a room and use our charm to get what we want and all of that. So that imagine someone becoming a narcissist with all of that. But however, lately we've seen more, except maybe men who have experienced abuse in the hands of female narcissists. But I'm sorry, but I think I would say the men, are more narcissistic than the women. Yes, women have. So I think you said something, not everyone. You need a psychologist to diagnose someone with full-blown narcissistic personality disorder. In Nigeria, I'm sorry to say this word, almost everybody has a toxic traits. A lot of people are manipulating in this country, but that does not make everyone a narcissist. So we can't go about calling everyone who exists.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me put it this way, and I'll go back to my initial question. So the avatar is somebody who wants to get married. Initially, I was like the church girl a lot. So now we know that we could have both male and female narcissists. So I have a sister I have a son and a daughter who wants to get married, for example. How would my son recognize a covert female narcissist? And how will my daughter recognize a covert male narcissist? So, Sister Adeola, I want you to answer the question for me.
I mean, for a covert narcissist,
the male and female version.
Yeah, so most times covert narcissism are usually run like a closed system. They don't operate alone. They come from a family of covert narcissists where the parents are the major narcissists, and usually the mother is the martyr. I mean, she's the matriarch of the narcissism. And then they have the golden child and all of that, you know. So how to spot a covert narcissist is this. You see that love bombing stage, they don't do it alone. They will do it together with their family. And you be wondering, like, you guys just met me, you don't know me, you don't even know me from Adam. How come everyone is calling me our wife all of a sudden, calling me?
Yes,
and then they also are not even inquiring. They're not even, rather than call you and ask you questions about your family, your background, they'll rather go behind your back to get details about you. So they're telling you they know someone that know you because they're trying to get information, of course. And that information usually is them gathering points to see if you're going to be beneficial, if their son or their daughter marrying is going to be beneficial. Another thing I would always say, please, I don't want to be quoted, but I would always tell people that, please, class, when you want to get married, don't marry outside of your class. Please, it is very, very important. When you marry outside of your class and you're marrying someone you think is shy, is petty, or the background is something, you know, I'm sorry, it doesn't always work, because love does not always keep a marriage. Love does not always keep a relationship.
Love does not keep marriage, please.
It does not, because you need much more.
Marriage, you can't, love does not keep marriage.
Much more than that. So you cannot say, okay, so you're going to get married as a guy, you're going to get married to someone.
What keeps marriage is commitment and commitment.
Sacrifices, the willingness of both parties, you know, to put themselves aside and to work towards the common goal of the marriage. That's what keeps a marriage. So if you have someone who feels like it is just your duty to do everything, you know. So let me go back to the question Miss Ibi asked. The major red flag for a guy is you notice that the family are coverts. They're coverts in the sense that they're also, I mean, they're not asking deep questions. They're not trying to get to know you. You know, they're not trying to get to understand where you're coming from. So rather than getting close to you, they are going behind your backs. Of course, they will still come back to tell you that, oh, I met someone who knows your dad, and the person said this about your dad. I mean, if you want to ask me questions, if you want to know about my dad, just ask me. Ask me questions. These are red flags, you know. And then they also, you know, you find out that they have, like, if you look at the structure of that family, of the covert family, the covert narcissistic family, they have usually who is like a sister. The sister of the family is usually the one in charge. You can take that to the bank anywhere.
I'm telling you.
Who will tell you who is the one that is controlling the family. It's going to be because she is the golden child. I've talked about the golden child in some of my videos. I've talked about even how the upbringing of a child, you know, makes them. Nobody was born a narcissist. Narcissists are raised. Narcissists are made. You know, so if you're saying, if you want to know, the first thing is look into the family. You would see the golden child. You will see the person who is the one that controls even the partner you want to get married. Because when that person says no, you know, your partner probably would say, oh, I'm sorry, my sister. You'll be wondering, like, why is your sister having so much this influence on you or something? So you would definitely spot the red flags. And I've said, so I think I mentioned yesterday, I said, always trust your gut. Your gut feeling will tell you. Even when it looks good on the outside, when you go back to sleep at night, something is telling you that there's something wrong about this thing. And please always work on that gut feeling. When your gut tells you something is wrong, do your research. I'm sure you will find out what it is.
Now, you know, we are privileged to have 38 solid powers as women. One of them is the power of intuition. One of them is the power of sensitivity. But when we are raised from a dysfunctional home, some of these powers are stained because of our background. Because when you are raised from a dysfunctional home, don't talk, don't trust, and don't feel. So you don't trust. Now, when you now find love and the person comes to covert you, to love bomb you, you are raised not to trust, but these people will beat your imagination to trust them.
Yeah.
So most of the victims of this narcissistic personality disorders, their victims are children raised from a dysfunctional home. Check where you are coming from. Majorly. You can't be raised where there is so much love, care, and affection, and you fall victim. It's not possible. Because your dad has told you, you're beautiful, you are intelligent, that's my girl, you are my pride, you are my queen. Who dares to tell you anything? Whatever, you are contented. It's a family that every Valentine, they take gifts to their kids in school, their daughters. So the girl has self-esteem. So you don't need any idiot. Sorry to use that
No,
word.
say it. Say it, because it's my new word now. I have
Thank
learned
you.
to use that word. You don't need any
No idiot will come and tell you you are beautiful and you will fall for it because your dad, the source of your life, has said, that's my pretty queen. So the truth is, we need to understand these victims, these people that have become a victim of these vampires. They are people that are raised by parents. We have shadow dad, and they have these father issues: shadow dad, missing in action dad, boundary buster dad, traditional dad, and critical dad. All these fathers inflict wounds in the soul of their children. So when I run the women training school, the first thing we do is to deal with issues. Sincerely, you cannot put a new wine in an old skin. You want people to listen to you, you want them to understand what you're saying, their worth, their value, their dignity. I deal with the root first. There's no way.
So, doctor, do you mean to tell, are you saying that some of these traditional fathers and all those fathers,
Yes, all the fathers, yes,
overcorrecting,
father missing in action, boundary buster, critical dad,
overcritical,
yes, they inflict wound in the souls of their children because your father takes
overcorrecting.
Yes, they are critical dad. Now, the truth is, your father takes you further. Your father is your hero. Even Jesus, that has physically a questionable background in fathering, God had to come and validate him. When John the Baptist came to baptize him, and he said, do it now. Heaven opened. The moment God validated Jesus, his ministry changed. Every child needs a validation from their dad. And that's why, please and please and please, if you have been in a toxic relationship or you are married to a narcissist and you have left, please, you have to get into strong, solid therapeutic sessions with the person that understands the dynamics of being married to a narcissist, or else your children will be the victim of error.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we have so many things to say. I want to ask this question, and this question is directed to Adeola. Adeola, let me ask you. So we've not really delved into that whole thing about how to know. I know we've talked about the love bombing, and we have a community of family of narcissists trying to convince you. But what are some of the salient things that can you just itemize them so that somebody who is listening can just say, oh yeah, that rings a bell, and oh yeah, that rings a bell. So what I want us to know is the red flags in a female and a male narcissist to somebody who's going to get married, who's about getting married. It's Adeola.
Thank you. Yes. So The major red flags of the, let's say, a covert Christian narcissist is that sense of false humility. So they're appearing to you like they are humble. But when you're close to them, you know they are not humble. They're anything but humble. There are those that will appear like they don't want accolades, they don't want to be recognized, they're shy, oh, they're just humble. However, the person that is closest to them, you would know their arrogance. You would know. So I'm going to give an example of someone who openly tells you, I don't like this particular tribe. I mean, you're dating someone who says, I don't like this, or let me say marriage to someone who says, I don't like this particular tribe. And every time the person wants to cheat, the person is cheating with that particular tribe. They have such double standards.
Yeah.
You know, so double standards. So they would appear like, you know, they're humble, and they don't want admiration, but you must admire them. They also appear like they're geniuses. They appear like they are very smart or they are misunderstood, you know. And then when you meet them, there's always a sub story. They'll tell you, oh, something, there's always a sub story. They'll tell you, oh, I used to be
they had an accident.
Yes, and then all the good
growing up, their father, their stepmother.
At the moment, yeah. You know,
hey, I'm shouting.
Your savior complex just come like, wow, I need to, and see. And Olufunke was saying something about a broken, about someone who's broken being attracted. However, aside that, usually, and maybe it has to do with upbringing, narcissists are usually attracted to empaths. People who are highly empathetic. And people who always feel like they have to save the world. People always feel like, oh, you know, I for one, I think I just got to the point where I've learned to set boundaries, and because of course I healed after narcissistic abuse, and you know, I also went through therapy and all of that. Before then, I can make excuses for anybody.
You rationalize for people now. You tell them 1,001 reason why they will slap you. I don't know, that's why.
That's how they knew better, they would have done better.
Exactly.
You know, excuses for everyone. But why do you think you are the seed? The job of the Holy Spirit, the job of the
Holy Spirit. You are the Messiah.
You are not the Messiah. You can never save anyone.
Okay.
So that is one. Oh, you want me to go? I want to go on, please. Let's also talk about the Messiah complex.
Oh yeah,
right?
go on.
So another red flag is, even though they act like they are shy and they act like they are humble and all of that, they also act like the martyr. So when they have done something wrong, rather than take accountability for their actions, and when you call them out on their bad behaviors, they are acting like, oh, you don't understand me. Oh, it's because, see, a covert narcissist will blame the whole world before they take accountability, except of course the Holy Spirit decides to deal with them. You know, they will tell you something happened, it is because of this, because of that, and they would never. So they have a way of deflecting. So at the end of the day, the conversation goes quickly from what they did to, oh, the way you're reacting, oh, it is because you are not understanding me. I'm just misunderstood. I'm just his persecution and righteousness. They will always tell you they're being persecuted, especially when you're Christian. Then they would also tell you that service has to do with strings. When you're serving, they always want you to serve their purpose. So service has to do with strings attached. You always need to serve the need of the narcissist. See, when you start setting boundaries, if you're in a narcissistic relationship, and this is
saying, no, I can't do this anymore.
Once you start saying no, their true color comes out. Yes, you would see they would treat you literally like shit. I'm sorry to use that word.
You see that? It's okay.
Once you're not feeding their ego, you're not serving their
massaging their madness.
Oh my goodness. You would start wondering, like, who was this person?
Why? What did I do?
Yes. Another way to spot them is they use the scripture as a tool. So they'll twist the verses of
love.
They'll use the scripture as a guilt tool. They use it to guilt trip you. So, you know, someone I used to know used to have this very fantastic way of, you know, making me feel guilty. I'll just hear words like, let him that thinks he stands, take heed, lest he fall. You know, and once I'm hearing that Bible part, I know that I have to retract my steps. So they will tell you, not even when it's not in the context, especially when it favors them. So they have double standards. They will owe you to the highest standards that they would never owe themselves to. So when it comes to, and then they also have another way you spot them is they remember every gritty thing they do for you. So literally, a covert narcissist will remember the day your biro fell on the floor and he bent down to pick and say, "Can you see I gave you my biro?" He will not remember the times he was in trouble and then you brought him out, you probably spent money on him, you gave your haul, you did that. When you're talking about, you say, "Oh, but I did this," you say, "That is not the point." They have a way of downplaying the major things that you do, and they remember they will remember every little thing they have done for you. These are the red flags. See, it always comes up because a narcissist a covert narcissist are jealous of you, and they would not.
They have low self-esteem. It's because of their low self-esteem. They don't have.
Yeah.
They have serious low self-esteem.
They have low self-esteem, so they don't want you stealing the spotlight. When they see you're going ahead of them, they're the ones that will tell you in the church that you need to be subservient to me because I'm the man. I mean, you need to bow to me.
They will say, "I'm the man. I'm the head of this home" more than 200 times.
Yeah, they have not even put you in the home before they are telling you they are the head.
Can you see that you must call me daddy? They are not married now. You remember the story I read?
Married, yes, but they are telling you they are the head already. They are not committed to you already, but they make you feel like they are doing you a favor. They do, even that marriage, they'll tell you, "Look at this person telling this lady that, I mean, she can't get married to someone, she won't get someone else." I reject that for her. I pray that
please, what should I? He said, "I beg for weeks before you will accept."
After what you do already, you need to run.
Okay. So Auntie Funke, you were asking me before, when we were talking, you were asking me about how many hours did we have. I said 1 hour, 30 minutes. You were wondering, see, we have 30 minutes left, but you see this conversation, we must reach the made in China in this conversation. Yeah, we must reach the end of the plate. So now this is what I want to ask you. And this is for Auntie Funke. What patterns do you often see in victims who stay in narcissistic relationships for a long time?
Trauma bonding. They don't want to leave. They're so scared. In this book, this is Take Your Life Back After Many Years of Abuse. And this is mirror, how to identify and navigate narcissistic relationship. This particular one.
Auntie, how can we find the books just in case?
I have them on Seller. I have all my books. You can send it to. We have it on Seller. I have all my books on Seller.
Seller is an app, is it?
Yes, I would send the link. Probably, I'll send the link to you or something.
And then I'll put it on Facebook. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now the truth is very clear. People that are in a toxic, especially church girls, church people, they are scared of what people will say. They're afraid of stigmatization because you are stigmatized. It is not anywhere in the Bible, quote and unquote, that allows divorce. And the Bible did not tell us to be in a toxic relationship. Fear is strong in the heart of the victim. Number 2, what will people say? Number 3, not being financially empowered. It takes a woman that is comfortable, that could damn the consequences, to say good riddance to bad nonsense, I'm going to live my life. So most of the victims, they don't really have enough financial capacity to exit. Now, the most delicate part of it, which is very, very toxic, is there is no support system. There is no, because every narcissist have lieutenants. They have people they have lied to, that have lied to them, and they made you believe you are not godly, you are not submissive, you are the person that has a problem. So there's no support system. Out of 200, let me say 10 women, probably it's just one person, because church is oblivious to these monsters. You know, church does not have a clue to anything that is happening in the life of the victim of a narcissist. So it's only one person, probably 1 out of 10, that will say, no, but sir, this is not nice. Madam, this is wrong. But most of the time, you will not see one person that will support you, that will make you feel the validation of your feelings. They don't make you validate nobody validates your feelings. Nobody validates your abuse. Nobody validates the toxicity. Everybody is telling you, pardon me. Oh dear. Everybody is telling you, you submit, understand. You too, you're a woman. A woman should be down. A woman should be submissive. So you are like, it's a paradox to you. And because, you can't be swimming on the same side without anybody helping you. Proverbs 31 woman, thank you. They will say, our husband is known in the gates, They would start quoting scriptures that will make you feel stuck. So you stay there. Then, of course, you don't know what to do with your kids. Now, let me say this to every woman living in an abusive relationship. Your kids are there, they are damaged. If you are there, they are damaged. If you leave, they are damaged. So it's better for you to leave and take your life back and start healing through therapy. The kids you are trying to protect, let me say this very clearly. I'm in my library studio here recording. If yourself and your husband, you are fighting each other, beating each other for 25 years, right in this studio, the worst that can happen to these gadgets is for them to be dusty. But when children are in that relationship, they are growing with the storm. So the kids you are trying to protect, by keeping them in the marriage, they're already damaged.
True.
Okay.
So telling yourself, I'm not going to go because of my children, you are still going to pack the debris, the crises, the problems, the marital conflicts in the life of your children. You are going to handle pornography, masturbation, violence, drug addiction, sex addiction. Most children that are
hypersexuality.
Exactly. The children that are raised in this system, they are addicts. They become addicted to something. So apart from now, the truth is you need a strong, solid support system to be able to walk through this. Your kids are there. Apart from you having to live your life and take your life back, what about your kids? So you need to be in a place where your therapist is helping you to help you to raise your kids, helping you to come back to life and survive. And most victims of narcissistic personality disorder, the victims, sometimes they end up having health issues because your health is your marriage, your wealth is your marriage, your happiness is your marriage, the happiness of your children is your marriage. And a woman is web in a relationship. We're like noodle. We just like, spaghetti. That's how we are wired when we are relating. So that's just the challenge we have when we are trying to stay there, don't do anything, survive it. You do something. And what you have to do, the Bible says it's not good for a man to be alone. It's not talking about marriage. It's talking about having somebody in your life, not being alone. And one of the things a narcissist would do to push you out of life is to isolate you and cut off all your support system. They will see what is wrong in your mom, in your siblings, in your friend, in your therapist. They must see something wrong in any of your support system so as for you not to be able to get help. So seek help, and help is always available.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Doctor. Now, I want to ask Adeola this question. Adeola, so let's talk about breaking the cycle. What are the first steps that you can take? Can somebody who is in a narcissistic relationship do to break the cycle? And this is a two-pronged question. So first also, so now we're talking about love and relationships. We were talking about narcissism between two people that are married. But I also want us to add, in answering this question, I also want you to answer, what if you come from a family of narcissists as well?
And the bloodline is
Yeah. So, Adeola, we're talking about breaking the cycle.
I didn't get that last question.
So I said, number one, what are the first steps that you need? So it's a two-pronged question. First, if you are in a narcissistic marriage or relationship, what are the first steps that you need to take to break that circle? The second one is, if you are in a dysfunctional family and you want to break the circle of narcissism, how do you do it?
Did you get her? I think the network. Did you get what she's saying? Adeola, are you there?
Okay.
I think our network.
Okay.
Oh, our network is.
Okay. So, okay. Doctor, do you want to answer the question?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
You said breaking the circle, right?
Yes.
You know, one thing that is natural with people that are in a toxic relationship is we call them trauma bonded personality disorder in a way, because is Adeola there back? Is she back? No. Now it's
Okay,
when you are trauma bonded, you feel comfortable in toxicity.
Let me write it down.
You feel
When
comfortable in
you
toxicity.
are trauma bonded. I'm listening.
Bonded. When you are trauma bonded, you feel comfortable in toxicity. You feel God is dealing with you. You need to grow. It is not the abuser's fault. I'm the one that is wrong. I'm not doing things right. I'm not growing. I'm laid back. You know, you start giving unnecessary alibi for the abuse and the toxicity until
You die.
thank you until you have probably you have a loss of memory, or you start dealing with health issues, or you are losing your mind. Now, there is no narcissist that have most narcissists are addicts. They have sexual problems too. So the man is cheating on you, is, you know, breaking your heart on the side of addiction, and is gaslighting you, is making you miserable. The moment you are able to have one person, that's how to break up. The moment you have one person that has an idea or a glimpse or a, you know, the moment you have one person that is able to shed a little, all you need is a little light, just a light. If you can lash on it. But we are privileged now. Those days, people don't have privilege of social media and all of that. But these days, you can actually, you know, Google and, you know, see one or two people that will say something. But, you know, the only challenge that I have with this generation is you cannot get help without having a personal encounter. Another way to break through is to have somebody you are talking to. You cannot heal in abstract. You cannot heal on social media, taking everything. Because now listen, when you're dealing with this personality disorder, it is different stroke for different folks. Now, dealing with a narcissistic personality disorder is like opening pages of books. A page of, should I divorce, should I stay? That's a page. A page of, how do I handle telling him about the kids? How do I get my children to be with me? Another page, what do I do when in the church or in the circle of believers have been there? He has threat campaigned me, he has pulsed me everywhere. How do I handle my low self-esteem? And don't ever get me wrong, people that are married to men and women that are toxic, they are from dysfunctional home. And one of the things dysfunctional home does to a child is to destroy your self-esteem. So you are struggling with identity. Most women that lashed on the narcissist, they actually stay there because they feel, if I marry this person, of course, they saw the red flags and everything. Probably is the type that has money and all of that. You think your identity, your validation has to do with this person that is in your life. So you just go in there like a goat going to a slaughterhouse and sit there in that relationship. So your self-esteem has to be brought back. You have to build your worth and your value back to be able to walk out of that relationship. There's no way you can walk out of that relationship if you have not built your self-esteem back, because the system, culture, tradition, religion, church, family, even your parents, your family will pull you down and make you feel like a failure. And that's the truth. So it takes somebody who is in a strong, solid support system. Just check yourself into therapy. Now, people don't understand why we scream and yell about therapy. Therapy is this is the way I can explain it. If you have headache, you take an analgesic and you take it. If you are still feeling uncomfortable, you get to your hospital. Here in Africa, we have family doctors. You tell the doctor gives you maybe injection for malaria or whatever. If that sickness persists, any doctor you go to meet next will not give you medication. He will tell you, go and do blood samples. Take your sperm samples to the clinic, to the laboratory, do tests. Now, when you have done your medical tests and the result comes out, then they start nipping the sickness on the bud. Now, that is therapy. When you are into therapy, your therapist will check everything, go to the root of your problem. That's why therapy is talk. When you go through the root, then you know, okay, the reason why you were able to stay longer in this toxicity is because you yourself, you were molested growing up. Your parents were divorced. You are from a dysfunctional home. With that understanding, your therapist will help you to start building your self-esteem back. So anytime you are out of the relationship and you want to pull back and say, what will people say? They will say you are divorced. They will say you are separated. They will tell stories. Your therapist will say, don't worry. It's not your fault. The toxicity is not your fault. The abuse is not your fault. If God is your father, he will not cheat on you. If God is your father, he will not verbally, emotionally, psychologically, and physically abuse you. So they give you strength. They strengthen you in all pages, in pages. And I'm sure you must be in therapy till you die.
Fantastic.
Because one time or the other, you will still need to seek help because of the kind of thing they bring to the table, except they die.
Okay, now I want to ask this question, and Adeola, your line is just going in and out, but this is a question I want to ask both of you. But Adeola, I wanted to answer this question first.
Okay.
Yes, I can. We can hear you now.
Okay.
We can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I ask this question?
I'm
so
listening.
We've talked about breaking the
I
circle.
apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. It's live. It's fine. Okay, so let's talk about again, recovery. So we've talked about breaking the circle, the importance of having a firm structure, which could be a therapist. Yeah.
He's a therapist, not could be a therapist.
Each is a therapist. So let me ask you this question about therapist. You know, Black people don't need therapists. True or false?
Wow. Who said?
That's what we say. Because let me say this. So let me say this. I think this is also going to border. I think I'm just going to ask you this question, and then Jelly was going to answer the question. So we don't have therapy. Seeing a therapist is something that is new in our community,
Africa, yes,
in our culture, yes. So most of the time, when you have a problem, you could go to the pastor, you could go to a trusted aunt or uncle or friend. And of course, most of the time we go to the pastors. Now, do you think that the church is doing a good job?
They are not.
In helping people to heal?
They are sincerely not, because being a therapist is being a counselor, it's a profession. Being a therapist is a profession. If as a pastor, you want to be a therapist, you want to be a counselor, you must go and learn the vocation. It's a vocation on its own. So pastors, it's only in the kingdom of God we don't respect professionals. I use glasses. I have an optician. I had tooth issue when I turned 40. I had to see a dentist. When I turned 50, I started feeling pain on my knees. I had to go and see a physio that told me go and swim, lose weight and all, and change your diet. I had surgery some years ago. I had over 7 or 8 people at the surgery table. It's only in the kingdom of God that the pastor wants to do everything. We've not been fair on the church. We've given wrong counsel that have cancelled a lot of people's destiny. And that is just the truth. Church is not fair on an individual. As a matter of fact, the moment you go to your pastor and you tell him this is what I'm going through, they will tell you die there, stay there. God hates divorce. Excuse me, God hates divorce, but he loves a divorcee.
Okay. Now, Adeola, I want to ask you this question because you're a recovery coach. You're a narcissistic abuse recovery coach. How can survivors rebuild their self-esteem and trust in love and even God after such a traumatic experience?
I mean, so that's a lot. I mean, if we're going to talk about that, it is quite a lot, because I'm actually writing a book called Breaking Free from the Trauma Bond. You mentioned something about
it's there in the WhatsApp. It's in the group there. It's in the
the one in the WhatsApp group is just a quick guide to understanding it. That's just narcissism 101, just to understand who a narcissist is, how to identify a narcissist. That's the book in the chat. So, but the other one is not out yet. We're still in works, but very soon we'll have it out. So what I'm trying to say is breaking free from trauma bond, because when you are in a narcissist, when you're just recovering from a narcissistic abusive relationship, you always tend to hold on to that love bombing stage. And that is why you stay for so long. So you always tell yourself things like, oh, maybe this guy was not like this in the beginning. In fact, most people, and Olufunke rightly said, pastors do not even understand what narcissism is. The truth is, if you have not personally experienced narcissistic abuse, there's even all the things we're saying, you just look at it like, are you sure this thing is real? Because except you have someone who has experienced it firsthand, someone who is close to you, that's when you might be able to relate, So when you're breaking free from a trauma bond, you hold on to the highs and the lows. So you hold on to the person. That thing is like an addiction. You're addicted to your abuser. So you still want to go back to your abuser to still give you validation. You're still going back to him to hoping that is the person that will fix you, right? However, when it comes to breaking free from trauma bond, your first bet is going no contact. Please, Auntie Funke, I want to say this. If you keep saying that people who are narcissists are those that are from broken home, maybe single moms and all of that. I mean, we are not encouraging people to live narcissistically, but they will still tell you they're staying because they don't want to groom narcissists, right? So I mean, there are a lot of tools to raise your children the proper way. There are a lot of tools to assist you. You need to equip yourself. But your best bet is to go no contact. Please equip yourself. See, covert narcissism is very, very bad. We think it is only grandiose narcissism because they beat you openly. The abuse that goes behind closed doors. When you live with a covert narcissist, you never. In fact, that thing has a way of messing with your mental state. Wow. If you come out alive from a covert narcissistic relationship, you should be thankful to God that you made it. Especially where you didn't even understand what narcissism was. You did not even know what. You never even knew what narcissists. Just thought narcissists were just the grandiose kind of narcissist, right? So when you want to break free from, when you want to recover, your best bet first, you need to start equipping yourself. You need to start understanding what narcissism is, because that is where you'll be able to understand that you were not the one, you were not the problem. You were not the problem, because the narcissist would have conditioned you to be the problem. And you'll be asking questions like,
gaslighting.
I mean, when did I? So, yes, they'll gaslight you. So, in my own case, it got a point. I was like, when did I turn to this kind of person? I mean, because at some point, when he says something, he does something, I'm asking him, literally, he will tell me something, and that's gaslighting. And I say, oh, you just said it, and he will tell me he never said it. That thing used to make, because
they lie. They can lie for Africa. They're lying. You'll be losing your mind.
And then I also noticed, yes, they will mess up your mind. So I also noticed that this person also has a way of keeping information from you. They would never tell you things so that you don't find out. But by keeping information from you, they are telling everybody every dirty little thing about you. Telling people truth. They're telling people outright lies, and then they're creating stories. They would lie, to people. So how do you break free from this? You need to recognize the pattern.
Yeah.
The first step is recognizing the pattern. After recognizing the pattern, please go no contact. See, Grey Rock is for
cut off.
Grey Rock, cut off. So Grey Rock method is usually you acting as grey as a rock. You don't give reactions. But trust me, it's not possible. It's not possible. It is possible, but it's going to be difficult. But this is what I tell people when I'm talking about the Grey Rock method. I said, look at it like this. If you're working in a mental asylum, right, and you see people exhibiting their mental illness, they're displaying all the madness and all of that. I'm sure you won't react to them, right? Mm-hmm. You will just see that, this person needs their drugs, their meds, or I need to stay away. Yes. Unfortunately, that is how you should treat a narcissist when you're living with one. Unfortunately, when you're living with a narcissist, just treat them like they do not exist.
Absolutely.
Don't give them, because they will trigger you.
When they make you miserable, that's when they are
quiet.
receiving their gasoline. You are giving
Yes,
them
and
life.
they
When
will
they make
now-
you miserable, they are happy.
The narcissist I was with would record the reaction, and then he's going to play it to people as if it was, I think I just started to go crazy. I was just going, because I mean, my own, I believe the way you're close to someone, you don't tell lies. So my own is when I tell you something, you're telling me, I'm telling you, I'm like, I'm trying to convince you that I'm not lying, and this person is recording and is, sharing it with someone else. You need to go contact. You can try the great method, but go no, and then you can start to go into therapy. Please, not everyone understands narcissism. And we also need to, the Bible says, guide your heart with all diligence, for out of which flows the issues of life. It is not every information you get on the internet that you hold on to.
Thank you.
So you also
say that
need
again.
to be sure. You also
say
need to be sure that yes, it is not all the information you get on the internet that you hold on to. You also need to be sure that you're getting this information from the right person.
The people that will, your professional, your therapist,
yes, people that
understand the details of your life.
Yes, not people that just, they just feel like, oh, narcissism is what everybody is talking about.
No.
Yes, so okay.
Honestly, no fairness. Let's be realistic here. The truth is, you can never, ever, ever be free from the narcissistic abuse in isolation. It's impossible. Impossible plus cannot equals impossible.
Yeah.
You cannot. There's nothing you have to have a strong, solid support system. I'm choosing my words. I try to choose my words, if you notice very well. You cannot be free from this bondage of living with a vampire without a strong, solid support system. If you don't have one, you've got to go and look for one. You cannot just speak here and there, and just think you're going to be fine. You cannot be fine, because there are times you want to cry. You didn't want to cry. You want to yell. You want to commit suicide. You want to go crazy. You want to tear your clothes. You cannot do that with anybody anyhow. And your therapist, a genuine therapist, will have your case notes, will have your records. So they work with you based on the records that they have with your. Now, when you are doing therapy for a woman or a man that is in a toxic relationship, you are extending it to the family members. They also, not even their husband that is a narcissist or their wives, they have members of their families that have abused them because of their vulnerability, because of their low self-esteem and all of that. So by the time you are cracking them, you know all the loopholes, then you help them to fix it.
Fantastic. Now, I'm going to get to the next part of this program, because I said it's going to be interactive. I want to say that there are quite a few people on EB Speaks today. I want you to please do me a favor to help me grow my channel by please subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is Ibinabo Enebi. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers. So please help me. If this episode of my program is of benefit to you, then the only way that you can help me is to help my channel grow by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Now we want to get into the therapy session, the question and answer session. And this is what I want to say about it. Yeah, I'm going to send the link. I sent the link earlier on for my YouTube channel. Now, this is it. This is a live broadcast. It's going to go everywhere. So there are two things. If you feel confident enough to ask the questions with your name on the screen, it's fine. Otherwise, just text me the questions and I would ask my guest for you. And today, I think we're going to have people that will have a lot of questions. So I'm going to extend the time. So the first hand is Some Consultancy. Yeah? Some Consultancy, do you have any contribution or any questions? You can let me so you ready? Oh, cool.
Yes, I'm ready.
So where are you watching from?
I'm watching from Cavan.
Oh,
Here in
perfect.
Ireland.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, my Irish sister.
Yes. It's a joy to join you today.
Thank you.
Um, I've joined you before, but and I always try not to say anything. But this
Yes,
conversation is interesting, and I really want to chip in some little things before the question, if that is okay.
perfect.
So my name, that is, I'm a consultant. So some consultancy, that's my freelance business for myself. So it's okay. Now, when we're talking about, there's this conversation around Black don't do therapy, and as if therapy don't exist in our own community. So let me clarify it first. I'm a Nigerian, and I'm from the Yoruba tribe. So, and I grew up living in Nigeria. Now, there was one thing I want to quickly say. There's so many things in our community that exist, but because we don't access it, or we don't have the need for it, or we don't know about it, we tend to say it doesn't exist. So I'll use myself as an example. Until I got to Europe, I never knew that there's any kind of social welfare system in Nigeria, but it has always been there. And it's not because I'm not educated, that's why I don't know. It's either because I had no reason in my lifetime there to access it. I was involved in politics. You would say I should know. My parents are educated. You would say I should know. But I wasn't aware that there's a welfare system. Now, though the social welfare system does not run the way it is being run here, because Nigeria is not a social welfare system. It's just there to give, but it was never given the way it is here. So the reason I bring that up, there's so many other things, is that there's so many things that exist in our community. For example, there has always been therapy now in Nigeria. Now it's for I will use for myself, we will have no need to access it anyway, because we might not even have the money to access it. Not that we are extremely poor, but going to a therapy will be the last thing. Now, the people that access it are really people that are extremely either rich, so they access it. But it's always been there. But there's something we've always had, which is greater, and I will strongly say is more than therapy, and that is us, yourself, the ability to be able to speak yourself, the ability to talk to others, the ability to talk to your mom, your father, your sisters, your aunties, people around you in general, the ability to speak out. Because whatever you do, the first thing is speaking out. It doesn't matter who you go to, a therapy, whatever, it's the ability for you to have the courage to say something is wrong, to admit something is wrong. Because if you never admit something is wrong, you won't see a therapy in the first place. Now, therapists don't do magic. I'm a counselor myself. They don't do magic. They listen to you. You bring the solution at the end of the day. It's from you talking that most of the solutions will come. They will only guide you towards that solution and give you the courage to take the solution yourself. Yeah. So
Fantastic.
it has always been there. But you yourself, you're the one that will take the first step, realizing there's a problem, admitting it, and seeking for help. When you seek for help, you will get it. And the help is always round the corner. Now, I know all these things about pastors, and it depends on the kind of pastors you're dealing with. It depends on the kind of church you're going, that determine the kind of support you get. And it determines the type of foundation you have in your own faith, that will determine the way you take the advice that comes from others. If you have allowed yourself to be deluded You know, most of us and I will include myself in this, is that we listen to the pastors. We don't study the Bible ourselves. We don't read, we turn the pastors into God. Every solution that we need is in the Word of God. Every solution you need is in the Word of God. Now, it depends on the way you take it, the way you use it, and the people around you. So the people you surround yourself with will determine the solution that comes your way. So
Fantastic.
you know,
Fantastic.
for example,
Yeah.
I grew up, and there's this thing about single parents, that people just think that if a woman is single, or if you're brought up from a single home, you are doomed. That is a big lie. It depends on it depends on your parents. Either it's the man that is single, or if it is the woman that is single. I have an uncle that lost his wife and became single with 3 children. And today, he devoted himself first to taking care of his kids on his own and with the support of friends and family. And they're doing well. I am also from a single family home. And I can strongly say that every decision I make in my life today, thank God to my mom. My mom was my father and my mother, and she did it perfectly without any. There's no iota. There's just no way I could say I can fault her. Now she might have fault, but it's also down to you as a child, because I realize there's so many things that my mom tells me, and she even think I don't utilize it. It became the stronghold for me today. So many things in my life. You know, I tell people, when I was younger, my mom has taken me to a friend to visit a friend. And by the time she came back, they didn't want me to go back home. And then my mom was wondering that, is this my daughter that I left here? Or is this another person? Because everything they were telling her that I was doing, she couldn't comprehend that I was doing that. Because with her, I wouldn't do most of those things. She has to run around for me to do it. But what I'm trying to say is that it is important that we don't put down women or men that are single and feel that all the atrocity that happened, because I've seen a lot of homes that that I grew up with in schools, that they have both fathers and parents, both mothers and their father, that they end up becoming gangs of thieves, that the entire family is known for thieves, children, or nearly all the children, and so many atrocities like that happen. So it is not really about whether people are single or married. It's about the upbringing, and not just what your parents instill in you. Is how do you take it? How do you utilize all this knowledge, all those skills into your own life? How do you change it? Use it to change your life. It is important. And I also really accept what the other auntie sister was saying there about identifying someone that is a narcissist. Is a narcissist? How do you pronounce it? Anyway, identifying them is the most difficult thing to identify, especially as a woman. If you, this word we call love, if you allowed yourself to be deluded with that 4-letter word, it will be hard to either to even recognize when you are in those kind of relationship and how to deal with it, until you drop those 4 letters word, give it a different meaning, starting from the hell, thinking of your life first. And, we're defining each of those letters, those 4-letter words. Then that is when you can save yourself from those kind of relationship. And thank
Fantastic.
you all for
Fantastic.
your contribution.
Fantastic
It
so
is
much.
life changing
Thank you
contribution. So
so much. Thank you so much. So guys, now please the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you opportunities to ask questions. You can raise up your hands, but we have to work with time and some consultancy. Thank you so much for those insights. But then I want to give everybody an opportunity to speak. So if you have any questions, please raise up your hand. But if you do not want to ask the questions, then feel free to text and I will read it out without mentioning your name. I have one question here. It was asked before now, so I'll just go back to it. Let's see. So while I'm looking for the question, please, if you have any questions, raise up your hand while I ask this. Where is this one now? Yeah. So does a narcissist use information you have shared with him about your family and background against you later, especially trauma experiences? So any one of you can answer this question.
A narcissist weaponize everything they have. They're looking for weapon to use, like gun and, AK-47. They just weaponize everything. If you tell them anything about you, your parents, yourself, your family, your trauma, your abuse, they use it against you. When you tell them that probably you came from a dysfunctional home, when you have issues, they will say you want to be like your mom that's separated and divorced. So they use every information as a weapon to hurt you and to wound you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Sister Adeola, do you have anything to add to it?
I mean, she said it all, really. Every information, everything you do to the narcissist is usually weaponized against you. So like she said, when you tell them about the dysfunction in your family, they are keeping scores. Everything that is happening. Meanwhile, they're not giving you death on their own family because they know what they are planning to do. They won't tell you what is going wrong with your family. They want you to feel like their family is okay. They are okay. They won't tell you. So imagine you're married to a narcissist and you just share, oh, my sister had these issues. Can you imagine she did this? The narcissist will hold it against you. And the day they want to discard you, part of the things they used to smear you, they first tell everybody dirty secrets about you, the things that you thought you were sharing with
your
most favorite person.
Love of your life.
Your lover, they will tell everybody everything, and then at the end of the day, they'll not use it against you and tell you again that it's because you come from a dysfunctional home. Please, I mean, don't allow anyone dictate who you are. You need to learn, you need to start learning to set boundaries. Learn to set your boundaries and learn to be confident in your skin. Know who you are. So when someone wants to try to do that against you, don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you because they would weaponize anything and anyone just to get away from accountability.
This is serious. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the questions to come, please feel free to, if you don't want to speak up, just send me a message or put the messages in the text.
I think I need to clear some things.
Yes.
With the issue of being raised by single parents.
Okay.
We're tripartite being. We have a spirit, we have a soul, we live in a body. When there's any form of challenge in a home system, maybe by death, divorce, or whatever, a child feels the pain in their soul. Now, what happens is you might not have a weakness of, any other weakness, but you might have a problem with your self-esteem and worth. You may not be addicted to drug, you can be addicted to sex. The soul is not permitted to be wounded. Addiction is a way you medicate a pain that is inflicted in your soul. That's why when people are raised, when there's a challenge in a home and there's any form of dysfunctionality, it is better to seek intervention. Therapy is intervention. That would take you from the place of bottling up, keeping things to yourself, than exhaling it and saying it to someone that will help. And I often tell people, you don't cry before someone that will not say sorry to you. You talk to someone that you know that will help you. There's no one that has any form of dysfunctionality raised from by single parents, polygamy, monogamy, whatever happens, that a child will not feel the impact. You can be good in a part and the other side is suffering. So we need to, because that's why in this profession, we don't, that's why when I answer questions, I don't answer questions generally, because different stroke for different folks. If you're going to take the answer of one person, okay, being raised from a single parent and all of that, and becomes well, maybe 1% out of 100%, because you cannot tell people how they react to pain. We react to pain differently. Some, when anything happens, because of their personality, maybe they are choleric, they just shrug it off. Some will have to brood over it and meditate and talk about it over and over and over again. Before they know what is going on, they are paralyzed in their thoughts. I just needed to chip in that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So I have this question.
Okay, please, can I quickly?
Okay.
I know this topic on single parenthood and all of that, because even aside the trauma, someone also mentioned that, you know, you could lose your spouse and then end up being a single parent.
Exactly. Any
So
form.
at least I would want us to, I made a video like a few months back on how a child's upbringing contributes to them being a narcissist. I think it's on my YouTube page. Just check for Adeola Omojola and you can watch that video. Because the truth is, either you are in a narcissistic abuse. Sometimes you could even be single while being married to the, in fact, you're single while being married to the narcissist. So it is not even about being, so you see, you could even be in an unhealthy space, but you need to take conscious efforts and make sure. See, one thing is raising children is not allowing them, if you want to raise your children right, you should not allow them get away with everything because you feel their father is not around and you give them, my kids do not have a phone. My kids will tell me stuff like, oh, but their cousins have that. I didn't know your sister's, you know, children. I will say, but they are not me. I did not give them a phone because that is how I want to raise my children. I'm being intentional about it. You know, so but we need to be intentional about raising children. God will help us. I'm a single mom and I'm proud to be born anytime, any day. And I know I'm raising godly children. In fact, most times I go to school, people will be telling me, oh, you're raising them. I'm like, what have I done? I've not done it. I'm doing the basics, you know. But the truth is, you need to be intentional about raising children because
intentionality.
Okay. Sorry, I don't want to cut you short, but this is what I wanted. I have some more questions though. But then if there's anybody who wants to see any one of you, first and foremost, let's establish that. How would they contact you?
My Instagram handle is, you can send me a DM on my Instagram handle. Or
what's the Instagram?
Olufunke Adetuberu. Or let me just say, put it the number, +234 80 232.
Should I type it?
Yes.
+234. Okay.
80.
Let me write it down. +234.
WhatsApp only, please.
+234 80
232
232 yeah
42
42
389
389. Is it correct? So +234 23 24 23 89.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I have two questions before we call it a day. Will I have custody of my children after divorce? They are below 7 years.
Well, we have a lawyer in the house, so she should answer that.
Okay. Adeola, are you here?
The network.
The network.
Well,
okay.
If
anyway, I can quickly give an answer to that. Definitely. Definitely you will have custody. It depends on your own status talk. Are you working? Do you have a home to provide for them? It just depends on that. So if you're working and you don't have any criminal record, you have a home that they can live comfortably, yes, you could. But you know, I don't know if it is Nigeria, if you have a husband that is taking a rich and is able to bribe every other person. But even with that, as long as you have a good job, he might have more weight than you if it's far richer than you. But if that's not the case, if you have a job, you have a home they can stay in, yes, you could.
Now, let me quickly help someone to understand something. Where two elephants fight, the grass suffers. Some grass don't die. Some grass suffers. Some grass die, depending on the length of the fight. we need to understand that the souls of our kids are very fragile. As much as possible, as much as it lies in your capacity, protect your kids from toxicity in your relationship. Do everything. I'm not saying you should live in lies or, pretend or something, but don't make your children your friend in the midst of your storm. I don't want to call you a pedophile, but the truth is there are little or nothing that a kid would handle. Don't make your kids handle adult matters. You might not know the effect of what is going on until they begin to grow. That's why I'm over 60, I'm 62. I've seen a lot. I've handled a lot. I've felt a lot. I've lived what I'm talking about. You cannot say until the end when your kids are making choices. And sincerely, children are naturally selfish. When there's problem in the home, a child will think it's my fault. That's why mommy and daddy are not together. I'm wrong. It's my fault. So you don't know the effect, the devastating effect of what has happened or what is happening in your home, in the lives of your children. You don't know it because they're not going to say anything. They know you are in pain. They know you are not happy. They know things have happened. So they mask their own pain. They cover it. They make sure they won't let you feel their pain. So please encourage your kids to talk to people. Get your kids a therapist. It doesn't have to be a professional one, but someone like a big auntie that they can talk to. And don't shout, don't react, don't yell when those information comes out. You can say, I don't like my sister, I don't like my mom, she's too cold, she's not listening to me. Those little things, like she said, be intentional. Don't gloss over anything. Don't take any word for granted. Make sure you are at the top of your game when you are raising your kids alone. I know what I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay, let me just ask this question. I have a second question. So how do you handle a narcissistic son or daughter living under your roof who says he or she doesn't want to get married because of his or her experience with a narcissistic parent? And then one more question and then that will be it. And any one of you, Adeola or Dr. Funke, can answer this.
Okay, so please, I saw a question on custody, please. I don't know if you've asked that question.
Yeah, we've answered that question.
Please answer. I think a lawyer
answer that question.
Please answer that question as a lawyer.
From a legal perspective. So please, can you ask that question again? I'm trying to see.
I have children. I'm divorced. I have children under 7. Can I have custody of them?
Okay.
Will I have custody of my children? They are below 7 years.
Well, I want to know where the person, because I will be speaking from the Nigerian perspective, from the jurisdiction of the courts in Nigeria. So yes, of course, usually they grant custody of the child that are 7 and lesser to the mom, except the other party now comes to court to prove that you probably,
not capable, or maybe you are depressed, or you have mental problems and all of that. Yeah.
So, and usually these are things that narcissists will do. So they'll record. I was talking about recording reactive abuse. They'll record the abuse and they'll take you to court and say, "Can you see?" They will come to you. They will trigger you. They will trigger you, and then when they trigger and they don't trigger it, they'll bring out their phone. They're recording you, to go and use as evidence in court. So you also need to take yourself like 2 steps forward. When the person comes to you and the person is trying to trigger you, try as much as possible to gather the evidence. And please, I talked about the gray rock method. Be great. Don't allow anything. See that person as someone that is sick already. See the person as someone that is sick, and whatever the person comes to do, as much as you can, start to doctor your evidence. Because the truth is, the Nigerian courts will tell you they are not smart. They would rely on the fact that
because this person is evidence.
Yes, and if this person claims that, they have the money, they have the resources, usually the court wants to tilt to the person with better resources. So you have to be able to prove that when the child is in you can provide better, stability, you're able to take care of the child. So you need to start doctoring your evidence, get your receipts, maybe you putting the receipt inside the file and bring everything as evidence. Of course, usually they'll grant custody to someone, younger than 7. But for you to be asking if you can have custody, are you saying currently that child is not with you? Because that is dicey. I think if this person can reach out to me personally, I've dropped my number in the
Yeah,
if the
the number is
child
there. So maybe they can drop,
Yes.
they can
You can
so
reach out to me personally.
yeah, let them reach out to you personally. So there's the question, there are two other questions. So this is the first one and the second one, then, because the really the why it's interactive is because they want to have an opportunity to talk to you. So
Yes,
someone says that they have how do you handle a narcissistic son or daughter living under your roof who says he or she doesn't want to get married because his or her own experience with a narcissistic parents?
And so you can't call the child, how do you call the child a narcissist? I mean, like I said, people exhibit toxic traits.
A lot of people have compounded funny theories about narcissistic personality disorder. Are we hearing you? We are not hearing Adeola.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
No.
okay.
Now, yeah.
Okay, so if you have a child that is saying they would not get married, I mean, there are better ways to deal with this. This child needs therapy. It is not because the child, I don't think it is because the child is a narcissist. The child also lives through the pain you went through. Yes. So the child needs to heal, and you need to be intentional. You need to be a custodian of that child's healing, because if that child does not heal, the child remains damaged, and usually the abused usually turns out to be the abuser. So at the end of the day, a child who has been abused, who has experienced narcissistic abuse, might also use the same tactics, the same method they learned from either their father or their parents to also abuse others.
Now,
so you need to help this child understand that, let this child go into therapy. I don't think the child, so if the child is a narcissist, you need proper diagnosis. And at that, you know, I mean, if you have always met the need of this child, I don't know how old this child is, but for the child to still be staying and you say you want the child to go out or something, I don't know. But if you have always met the need of the child, then you still have a lot to do. You have a lot. We need to learn that no is a complete sentence. When your child wants something that you feel like this is not the best thing for that child at that point, you should be able to say no. And don't change your mind later. Don't tell the child that, okay, don't worry, you can go and have, because children, even from a very young age, even a 3-year-old child already knows mommy will change their mind anyway. That's why they will throw tantrums, because they know when you say no, you will still change your mind. When they throw that tantrums, they will get what they want. And narcissists are usually toddlers in adult bodies. So they will also throw the tantrums when they don't get what they want. So you need to be intentional about helping this child, identifying what the problem is, and helping this child through therapy. Thank you.
Perfect. Now, one more question, and that's going to be a wrap. This is my question. When you have recognized the patterns and you also know your upbringing might be contributed, how do you leave? What's the first step to leaving after seeing the pattern and getting fed up? Do I need to start waiting for money to be complete, etc., etc.? Yeah, let me say, yeah. Do I need to get waiting for the money to be complete? Where the abuser is extremely richer? How do I know the money I have on ground is enough to step out? Do you advise staying in the same state or after I leave? After you leave? Yeah.
Don't ever stay in a place that you know is not healthy for you. You would never have enough money.
You will never have
if you want to start, you would never have enough money. Whatever it is that you have.
It's by faith. You live by faith, man.
Please live honorably. Exactly. Live honorably and let God take care of you. And trust me, God will take care of you. God has a way of always dealing. See, the law of retributive justice always catches up with these people. Trust me, because God does not like the way, God does not want you to treat the next person the way these people have treated you. So if you're ready to leave, please, just start living. And when you want to leave, don't tell the narcissist you're planning to leave.
Oh my God.
Please, don't tell the narcissist, because especially they
don't tell the narcissist, don't tell your children. They will tell him and he will know how to.
They will tell the day you want to leave, just leave when the person is not around. I'm not teaching you people partying, but that's the best thing that works for you. But when you are using, once you make up your mind that you're leaving the narcissist, please don't go back to that person. Please, I don't want to get that you went back and that the person came back or sleep.
No, if they are not in therapy, they will go back and forth Because the moment, you know,
Don't
a
go back.
narcissist is image conscious. They are conscious of what people will say, who they are. So when you leave and you are not comfortable, they are not comfortable for you to leave, they will come back and do everything to hoover you back. Probably you have one kid that time, you can have 3 more, and they will still cut you off. So you need, that's why you need a strong, solid support system to handle these people. Check yourself. Somebody said, how do I heal? Check into therapy. There's no shortcuts. It's like you are sick. You go to the hospital. You are sick. You are emotionally sick. Go and see the doctor. Don't wait, or else. I've had 2 ladies now. They had to cut off their breast because they lived with a narcissist and they had breast cancer.
Yeah.
Pain.
Okay. Now, if this program was helpful, I have all the episodes in the Love and Relationship series on my YouTube channel, Ibinabo Enebi, Love and Relationship series. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Next time, in 2 weeks' time, I have another episode, and this particular series is marking 30 years of my marriage anniversary, and I'm having questions that I would like my children to know, you know, and it's like it's an anniversary gift for my children and for anyone who is interested. But then I just want to say thank you very much, and please do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I want you to follow my speakers on their YouTube channels and their social media handles as well. I've got people are like commending the session. They're saying this session is super hot. The guest speakers are super loaded. God bless you all. I have so many recommendations and credits. So I want to say thank you very much. I want you to please follow me on my social media handles, Ibinabo Enebi, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, so that when you'll be aware of when I post my other when I post the next programs I'm going to have. But most especially, please subscribe to my channels and follow me on my social media handles. And Dr. Funke and Adeola, do you have any pattern statements you want to say?
Heal. Take your life back. Please take your life back.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Let's keep this conversation. Like I said yesterday, we're having the pre-session conversation. 10 years is not enough for us to talk about narcissism. So if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to either myself or reach out to Dr. Funke. Please feel free to reach out. We are all on the journey. We are all healing together. Fortunately, we both went through narcissistic abuse. Dr. Funke also went through narcissistic abuse. I also went through. We lived through it. So there's nothing. So we are. And I'll always say something.
We have touched. We have felt.
Yeah. There's nothing you want to tell me that is going to sound like this is wow. I probably have seen worse. Right. Yeah. And then your first step is you need to take your glow back. See all those things you used to do before you enter the narcissistic.
Enter the trap. Get into the trap.
Go back. You want to learn how to swim, and you want to learn how to dance, and learn how
take your life back, man.
Take your life back. You want to look beautiful, do everything that the narcissist
when they see you glowing, they are having headache.
Once they see you glowing, they are in trouble.
Yeah, because they felt the storm will drown you.
Wow. I learned so much. I was just listening. So guys, listen, this is what EB Speaks is all about. EB Speaks is that I bring in everyday people like you and me, and experts and people with experienced expertise. So my 2 speakers are people with experienced expertise. EB Speaks is an information hub. There are so many people on social media that come and say all sorts of things. They're experts in code. But these people that I bring on this platform are verified and intelligent people. They are not AI generated, so you know what you're getting. So that's why you have to follow me on my social media handles so that you know when I have new speakers. In 2 weeks' time, I'm going to have, I don't want to say it, but then look, listen. You would learn. So I'm super excited. They said keep looking beautiful, madams. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
Auntie
Thank you.
Funke and Sister Adeola, I would call you. Auntie Funke, if you have time, I'm going to call you now.
Yes.
After we drop, we'll do a group call.
Okay.
And guys, thank you so much.
Okay.
And the
Fine.
thing you can do for me is to subscribe to my YouTube channel and let's take this conversation viral. Thank you and God bless you. And I'll call you. Bye, everybody. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to end the call now and I will see you next time.